All right, thank you for staying with us right here on Opposing Views on MX24 TV. My name is Kwabena Chencheng. I'm grateful to you for taking time off to join us in our conversation today. Like I mentioned before we went on that break, I was telling you that today we want to pay attention to what the next steps lie as far as the agenda of getting the nation back on track is concerned. The NPP has suggested that in the past 4 years, well, now 5 years, they have been on the course to right the wrongs of their predecessors, the NDC. The NDC, however, suggests that, well, those who suggested that things were so bad they were coming to fix it have actually come to worsen the situation to the extent that now Ghana's debt to GDP ratio is somewhere around 76.1%, unprecedented borrowing. They describe some of the actions of this current government, but Kenneth Oyata has justified some of that borrowing and he's been telling us that, well, it was necessary because if not, the economy would have collapsed. We had to borrow, and so we have borrowed. So all of that and the things that we usually hear when it comes to some of these things, it's quite interesting. It happens. But I'll take us through a few things. I mentioned to you that some members of the coalition, today I want us to go through a bit of a sequence. I want to take you through the sequence of events, how they have unfolded up until this point, and then we'll give you an update on what next for that very movement. But it's interesting though, I keep saying that certain things have been so, I don't know, so interesting. So it started as a joke for a lot of people because on Facebook and Twitter and the like, you would see someone just post something and then, you know, with a small caption there and then add a hashtag, fix the country. That's how it started. It tells you the power of social media because just those tweets of persons like yourself watching now managed to coerce government to actually respond. Let's start off on this note. Let's take a look at some of the tweets that dominated the headlines and perhaps started this very conversation of fix the country now, fix Ghana now, fix yourself, fix whatever. Some are even suggesting other things, not necessarily directly related to the economy. So this is the first one. Sadiq Adams. Sadiq Adams is called the Sports Obama. He said, data prices reviewed, fuel prices increased, taxes increased, cement prices increased. No regular water supply means you get to buy more water. Irregular power supply. When will salaries of the ordinary worker be increased to be able to cope with the rising cost of living? Okay, so that's one of the tweets there. There are a few more. From this one from Khadija. Khadija says, perhaps it's high time we start suing these people in authority for not carrying out their mandate. Interesting. Then there was, okay, so let's move on to the next tweet. Okay. Ifeodo, she's a, should I call her a socialite? Well, I don't know. She says she's an actress, now a singer as well. They are telling Americans facing racial discrimination to come to Ghana as if Ghana doesn't have accentuating issues already. From bad roads to bad infrastructure to corrupt authorities, fix your country first before you invite any outsiders. And there were a few comments on the back of that as well. Let's move on to the next tweet because there are quite a number of them. And so then it moved on to the situation where people were now using the hashtag. So they take a picture or a caption of something happening and then they put the hashtag fix the country there. So as you can see on your screens now, people studying on the trees, people in the hospitals who are, there are no beds there for them to be catered for, so they are actually, they have to lie on the floor. So Nungwari Cross, tweeting with the hashtag at Manuel Cyril, says pregnant women are to lie on the floor to receive treatment because of lack of beds and infrastructure. Is this Ghana our forefathers fought for? Well, hashtag fix the country. Okay, a few more. If we could maybe take the next slide. Right. Okay, this is Walasi. He's that rapper who has some very interesting songs out there. Some of his songs seek to get people asking a lot of questions about the current state of the country. So he says one thing in this tweet: the people should fix themselves too. Small promises, then John, you dey go vote. Sure. Sit inside and suffer. And then he says also, same people that took money from him to hype his party are complaining. No cares anymore. Oh, Charlie. So he appears to be quite tired. He's raising issues with the hypocritical nature of some Ghanaians. In-person president tweeting with the hashtag Esedumen says, how do you expect celebrities like Samini to join this good initiative? Nah, bro. He they enjoy for one side and people are suffering. Bibini, hashtag fix the country. Then Nikki Samunas. No, this is not Nikki Samunas. This the Mona says, Diaspora Ghana, the same energy you used to drop your pictures for likes and retweets on Independence Day. We need the same energy now to hashtag fix the country. If you order tweets again, I'm so happy that the youth of this nation are finally tired of the bad governance and are deciding to speak against it. Fix the country will not just end on Twitter. We shall lead a protest and show our leaders that enough is enough. Okay, so enough of how it started. So this is how it started. Now, after all of this had gathered enough steam, then it went on to the next stage. Comedian worries. The media is supposed to be our mouthpiece, but they chase issues that will give their mouth peace, accounts peace, and stomach peace. Instead of monitoring the leaders, they rather do press conference for Nana Agrada, but can't ask the leaders questions. Hashtag fix the country. Kalije says, not be the same country citizens were demonstrating for traffic lights to be fixed. Massa, we are not angry enough. Hashtag fix the country. Okay. If you are looking at this screen now, I'm sure you'd see another hashtag which is following that fix the country hashtag. It's called fix yourself, fix your attitude. Now, Omanba YA says, we all demonstrated against government to complete the construction of footbridge at Medina. Yet after the construction, we need the police to force us to use the bridge. Hashtag, he says, please fix the country, please fix yourself, fix your attitude, then the country will be fixed. And so, if you would recall, a number of party fanatics had actually decided to use that hashtag. Facebook Patriots posts here, he is in the process of fixing the country from the global pandemic. So it's up to the citizenry to hashtag fix their attitude. Another hashtag, fix yourself. Okay. Finance biologist says, you took money from the MP or presidential candidate before you voted for him or her. Just know you sold your vote and development. Hashtag fix yourself, hashtag fix the country, hashtag fix your attitude. Nungo Justin Bieber says, but have you fixed yourself? If you've ever dumped rubbish on the ground, you are a problem. If you've ever urinated on a wall by the roadside or anywhere, you are a problem. Good sanitation starts with us. Let's fix our attitude. Okay. So it was a bit of a banter between these two groups. Persons who were suggesting that we need to fix the country. The problem of this country is leadership. That was one group. The other group suggests that, yes, we may have to fix the country. Leadership may have to play a role. But between you and I, there's a lot more we have to do in order to fix the country. And that starts by the two of us fixing ourselves. Unfortunately for a certain MP, though, Member of Parliament for Nsawoma Dojiri, Frank Anodompre, some say he goofed. He has come back to apologize, but he said something. He put something up on Twitter. Of course, again, a number of foot soldiers of the party or surrogates of the NPP came up strongly to defend him. Now they've had to backtrack on that. This is what he shared. Take good notice of these two. Fix the country, fix the country. Please pardon my language, but he says this. Jimmy, you don't pay your taxes. You politicize every good policy. You receive bribe. You enjoy illegal connections. You don't respect your elders. You overprice your products and services. You destroy state property. You don't keep your environment clean. You do not go to work on time. You don't buy anything Ghanaian. You chase teenagers who are even young enough to be your daughters. In fact, you even cheat on your wife or husband. Please, fix yourself first. So, very heavy words there, but he subsequently had to apologize, and that's his apology right on your screen. He says, I would like to apologize for an earlier tweet which failed to convey both seriousness of the times and to capture the essence of what the youth is demanding. Throughout my time in public office, I've always known that collective action and responsibility are important. That was one of 4 tweets he posted as he sought to clarify why he perhaps posted what it is he posted. He suggested, among others, that whatever he mentioned did not have any malice whatsoever. Now he goes on to say, however, I also believe that ultimate responsibility lies with the hierarchy of government. This is why as MP, I've always strived to use public office to make life better for my constituents. It is also why I cannot, in good conscience, endorse any message of finger pointing. He goes on, while ignoring the climate of holding the arms of government accountable. In that spirit, I would urge us all to sustain our efforts to demand accountability. I believe in the leadership of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and I am confident that the responsible and responsive leadership he has displayed since 2017 will prevail. He shall succeed in making Ghana a better place. Okay, so that was Frank Anna-Domprey after he had earlier put out that tweet which got quite a number of people upset, suggesting he was not commiserating with several Ghanaians who felt the need to voice their concerns about the state of affairs of the country. Now, Jocelyn Duma tweets, why don't we start with the man in the mirror? We have normalized bribery, corruption, etc. as a people. Maybe if we unlearn all these, stop making excuses, shifting blame, and we perhaps change our ways, we can start seeing the change we need. And then she says, you plus me equals government, and then we can fix the country. Okay, so I've brought you up to this stage where you now begin to, in fact, you now appreciate what it is that started all of this. People felt that there was a lot that needed to be fixed. Others suggested that, well, indeed, there's a lot that needs to be fixed, but we also need to fix our attitudes. And so that was the clash. Persons who were on this particular agenda suggested that the surrogates of government who were pushing the hashtag fix your attitude were wrong and were only seeking to suggest that all is well in Ghana, and that there was no proper response from government to the several concerns that had been raised by some of these protesters. So, Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, decided to post something on social media to address the several concerns that had been put across by a number of protesters. And now, let me share that with you on your screen right now. As Dr. Bawumia sought to allay the fears of Ghanaians and to bring our minds to the fact that, or avert our minds to the fact that, indeed, the government of the day is fixing the several challenges we are speaking of. And so he highlighted some of the things that have already been fixed, some of the things which are in the pipeline of being fixed. But most importantly, his post focused on what it is that government has done thus far. Take a look at that now. Now, he gives us 8 points, 8 things we all need to pay attention to, things that government has done. He says inflation at 15.4% now has been reduced to 10.3%, yes. There are actually quite a number of points. We are just trying to focus on just these 8. I think there are about 63 or so. Yeah, 63. There are several things government is doing to better our lives. Again, he says average bank lending rate at 32%. Now, he's saying what the government of the NPP has done is that they've reduced average bank lending rate to 21%. Massive annual exchange rate depreciation, says we have fixed it. Well, he doesn't give a fixed figure there or maybe a percentage for us to work with. All he says is that it has been fixed and that the country now has the lowest depreciation for any first-term government of Ghana since 1992. That's from the Fourth Republic, the beginning of the Fourth Republic. Again, he says banking system was about to collapse. I'm sure you all remember the issue of the number of banks that had to be merged and all of that. Then he says, we have rescued the banking system and saved the deposits of 4.6 million Ghanaians. Persistent deficit in the balance of trade, says we've recorded a trade surplus for 4 consecutive years from 2017 to 2020. First time in more than 2 decades. Then he goes on and on to talk about a few other things. And so, clearly, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sought to give a response, a direct response from government. And that was previously not the case because all we had heard about were surrogates of the various political parties trying to spin things one way or the other. So for many foot soldiers of the NPP, you would hear them and see them on social media post a lot of things. In fact, some of those posts actually degenerated into insults in some instances. And so it was very good that Dr. Bawumia brought this up and sought to clarify a lot of things and let us know what it is that is happening. If you continue with that very slide on your screen, you'd see that Dr. Bawumia also raised issues on how in the previous government there was a freeze in employment, graduates, there was graduate unemployment, high import duties, large annual increase in petroleum prices, large annual increases in electricity tariffs, as well as the shutdown of Anglo Gold Ashanti. Now, the government's response to all of these is that for the first one, which is the freeze on public sector recruitment, they suggest that they have recruited nurses, doctors, and other healthcare workers, teachers, police officers, and many others. They say that at least 750,000 public sector workers have been recruited. On the issue of graduate unemployment, the government says it's established the Nation Builders Corps, NABCO, which has also gotten about 100,000 graduates employed. On the issue of high import duties, the import duties reduced by between 30% and 50%. On the issue of the large annual increases in petroleum prices, they say it was about 24% under the previous government. They're saying that they have achieved the lowest average annual increase of 8.25% in petroleum price in the Fourth Republic. And then it says large annual increases in electricity tariffs. Dr. Bawumia says cumulatively, the NPP government has reduced electricity tariffs, the only government in the Fourth Republic to do so. And then they also suggest that they have revived the Anglo Gold Ashanti. Interesting, right? So, at least that was a direct response to all of these protesters and what it is they were seeking from government. Okay. Beyond that, the government felt the need to have a tete-a-tete with some of these protesters, and it was no small delegation. So it was the National Security Minister Albert Kandapah together with the Defense Minister, we are told, as well as the Foreign Affairs Minister, and they, of course, there were some other high-profile government officials who were in that meeting. They decided to meet with some of the conveners of this group to try and again perhaps understand what their concerns were. And so they met them, spoke to them, and then subsequent to that, we did see a few tweets from some of the members of the group and also a communique from government signed by Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah detailing what it is that happened at that very meeting. Let's bring that to your screen as well so you can appreciate that also. So that's the story there about government meeting to fix the country campaign conveners. There's also an article on, there's an article on that, but there was also a release by the Ministry of Information, which actually sort of clarified exactly what it is that transpired at that very meeting. Let's take you to the Information Ministry and take a look at what it is that was tweeted. It says, earlier today, the Minister for National Security, Mr. Albert Kandapah, held a meeting with the conveners of a planned demonstration dubbed Fix the Country. And then it follows with the hashtag Fix the Country Now, Fix the Country Ghana. Well, it was a series of tweets, so this is the first of it. Let's move to the second one. In acknowledging the healthy conversation that has been started following a social media campaign, Fix the Country, the minister invited the group to explore further dialogue on their concerns. And he goes on to say the conveners in turn expressed their pleasure at the invitation and the level of seriousness with which their concerns have been taken by government. The minister and the group agreed to dialogue further. Okay, so that was the tweet by the Information Ministry. This, however, did not stop the protesters, because they said, yes, you have listened to us, we've heard everything, but we still want to protest. But the police were rather quick to actually secure an injunction against that, that very protest. And so there was an injunction which was secured, which prevented the people from embarking on that very demonstration. And that was supposed to have been this Sunday, yesterday. So that demonstration, well, did not happen. But it did not stop the police from preparing from a particular demonstration. So this is the release put out by the police suggesting that that demonstration cannot come off. And they cited a lot of reasons, including the fact that we remain in a COVID era. It's a COVID pandemic we are all dealing with. So allowing people to come together in groups to protest may not be in our interest, our collective interest, because indeed they may go there and go and make a point, but in the end, the backlash may come to all of us. As in, if there's a problem and the virus spreads so quickly, it's going to affect you and I. And such persons may be the same ones who will suggest that government is not fixing the country. That's how come people are dying of COVID, right? And so that happened. Again, like I said, even though that protest march did not happen, there was, it did not stop the police from arming themselves and getting ready for a possible protest. We have a few pictures we want to share with you also. That is available, I believe. So we can share that with you right now on your screens. If you realize, there were a number of people who had driven past the Independence Square, or Black Star Square as we call it, people who had been to other localities. Aha, there you go. So that's a video of the scene at the Black Star Square. You can see a number of cars there belonging to the Ghana Police Service, suggesting that, well, we are here, we are ready. I saw a post by a journalist with Akrabe City FM, Umaru Sanda Amadu, who had suggested that if you are rather keen on eating eba and you are in dire need of hot water, please do pass by the Black Star Square, because there's a lot of hot water available made by Kanketsi of the Ghana Police Service, you know, in anticipation of a possible protest. And I think that's a very proactive thing the police did. They did not wait until such a time where there would be chaos and then they would have to now quickly mobilize. So much as they knew that this was not going to happen, they still went ahead to, you know, give us the necessary protection. And so that's a good one. But on social media, there was a protest, and they mentioned that at 12 o'clock or so, they wanted people driving to blow their horns, people in their homes to, if you have, say, a utensil or a frying pan or something of the sort, to just bang on them, record themselves doing that and post on social media. So there were a number of tweets of persons engaged in some of these acts on social media yesterday, except that, like I mentioned earlier, it wasn't as amplified as perhaps an on-ground demonstration would have been. And so that's a bit of an update there. Okay, fast forward to later in the evening. The finance minister was supposed to have engaged the country at 1 p.m. at the behest of the information ministry. Now, the information ministry has found it imperative that they try and address all the issues that have been put across, not if not all, at least majority of the issues put across by the Fix the Country protesters. So they started with the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. He was slated to speak at 1 p.m. I think he started around 2 p.m. thereabout. But he took the opportunity to highlight a number of interventions by government in the past, interventions by government now, as in what the government is doing to fix the problems you and I are speaking about now, and also to look at the future of the country and perhaps why some of these protests are even necessary. In fact, he actually commended the protesters and suggested they have done a good job of putting the government on its toes and highlighting all the challenges that we all need to pay attention to as a country or as a people. Some of those sound clips we have prepared for you and we are going to share with you right now. Let's start with this one right here.
That these are challenging times for many of us, and we, like almost all the countries in the world, are living through the worst economic crisis since 1918, the Spanish flu, and certainly since the Great Depression. Africa may potentially lose a decade of its economic growth because of the intervention of the pandemic. A time that has put a great burden on the necessities of lives and livelihoods never before seen in our recent history. Unfortunately, these external shocks have heightened Ghana's perennial problems, which we are committed to address as an administration. In extraordinary times, you should expect exceptional leadership from your administration or government. I truly believe we cannot ensure exceptional leadership without a collective effort from all of us. So I commend the youth for calling on government and leaders to be at their best. This shows the patriotism of Ghanaian youth, echoing the president's call to be a citizen and not a spectator. You have elected us to solve the problems that face this country. We will continue to work with you and other stakeholders to do just that.
Okay, so that was Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta addressing some of the issues that have been raised. So he's told you about the things that have been done, the concerns that have been raised, how government is acknowledging them and the like. Now he's going to tell you what he is currently working on in a bid to address some of the concerns. So he touches on issues with the water, the plans he's gone into with the water ministry. What is it? Water ministry, the roads ministry. So people are taking a lot of pictures and had made reference to roads. There were issues about sanitation, about water and the like. Let's start with the issue of roads, because mind you, last year 2020 was dubbed the year of roads by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic. And so quite a lot was said in the year, and a lot of roads were indeed fixed. If we are very honest, a lot of roads were fixed. It does not mean that all roads in Ghana have been fixed, but it's rather interesting. You know what? Let's go for this break. When we return from the break, we'll bring you that portion of Ken Ofori-Atta's presentation yesterday, which highlighted the issues as regards roads and what government is doing to fix it. Stay with us.
You've done the hard work, the analysis, the selection. It's all going according to plan. Until City miss a sitter, and you miss your multi-bet by one. Miss your multi-bet by one, and we will return up to 20 times your stake. We've got your back, even when City don't.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years.
Nature is good. Nature is kind. Even when the earth is dry to the last leaf, nature preserves the best water, rich in natural minerals deep in the ground. We found it and we bottled it. Vital Natural Mineral Water is naturally filtered and bottled at the source to make sure you enjoy a maximum purity of water. Vital Natural Mineral Water, pure, rich and natural.
Right, we are live on Opposing Views here on MX24 TV. My name is Kwabena Chenche Boateng, and we are talking about that very campaign, Fix the Country. So before we went on that break, I was telling you about how Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta had been addressing some of the issues raised by protesters, and he had said a lot. Now let's focus on the next bit of what it is he said. He spoke about the roads and how last year we had suggested that it was the year of roads, and so a number of roads were going to be fixed. Well, a lot more need to be fixed, and so he's spoken about that. He's also spoken about the construction of some hospitals and the rather famous Agenda 111. If you don't know what it is, well, here's Ken Ofori-Atta.
Given the nature of the pandemic, I keep saying that this is not a passing ship or frigate. It's going to be more than a 2, 3, 4 year issue that we have to deal with and understand the nexus between health and finance and what it is doing so that we can ensure that our people are protected. I think we've come up maybe with a figure north of 10 billion dollars or so if we were to look at, fixing every road around this country. So how do we balance all of that in a way and be strategic in a way in which the most vexed areas are taken care of, and somehow we spread that. So that is going to be an administrative feat in terms of charging the ministry to do. But I think we have spent a lot more than most administrations have done on the road issue. On the issue of hospitals, which has come the Agenda 111, really I think it's an exciting intervention that is relevant and brings the whole issue of citizenship up for everyone. Yes, what we are doing is working with GIF to make sure that they participate in the development of these hospitals. And what we did was to segregate the equipment from the construction to make sure that the construction will be led by Ghanaian companies. I think they have received some 90 odd land sites from the district, of which they validated maybe about 7 to 6. We still are maintaining the 15 million per each hospital on average, and they should, I guess, in short order, be able to begin to start. But we, as a ministry, has committed to depositing money with GIF so that GIF can be the intermediary for this one. And we are looking at GIF as a way in which to do a lot more private and public partnerships so that it will be more efficient and market driven. So both affordable housing, major roads such as the Tema motorway, and hospitals. And once the development company is also in existence, they will be able to feed more resources to GIF.
Okay, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, letting us all know what it is that government is doing in all of these sectors. He goes on to say something which I found rather interesting if you had watched till the very end of that very presentation. He said that government is, for instance, making specific interventions for a number of local entities so that they are able to participate in the process when it comes to putting up some of these structures, these hospitals and the like, so that much as we are fixing the country, we are also giving employment to persons in the country. And I found that very instructive. Again, I keep saying that there's still a lot more that can be done. And the Information Ministry has made us aware that this is not the only time we're going to hear from government officials. They say they are going to try as much as possible to bring a number of government officials on board so that they can let you know what it is that they are doing to fix the several challenges you and I are raising. That's good context. Let's delve into our conversation now. Dr. Christopher Ampadu is a sociologist and development specialist. He's joining our conversation today. Also, Comedian Waris is a member of the Fix the Country Now campaign. He's also joining our conversation. Subsequently, we'll have a rep from government, hopefully, or the NPP, and then we can also hear their thoughts. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us on Opposing Views today.
Good afternoon.
Great. Let me start with Dr. Ampadu. Doc, you are a sociologist and again a development specialist. Sitting back and taking a look at everything that has happened and how things have panned out in the past, say, week or two, would you say this is perhaps a healthy exercise for the country?
Sorry. I didn't get you right.
Yeah, so I'm asking that, looking at how things have panned out in the past few weeks, and we tried to draw a sequence on this show where we highlighted where we came from, how this whole movement started, how it coerced government to now begin to address some of the things the vice president tweeted, the leadership well, the National Security Minister and some other ministers invited the conveners to have a sit down with them so they can appreciate their challenges. And then it went on and on. Now we are hearing from Finance Minister and several others. Would you say this is something we perhaps need to encourage more of? And again, is this likely to translate into any sort of development for the country?
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you for the opportunity to even speak to your program.
Right.
I think this is one of the best things government should be doing. When we hear the citizenry coming out with views like this, the government will not just sit back and then just say, people will respond. Will meet the leaders with ideas as to how to move the nation forward. I think this is one of the best ways to go, and it's encouraging because in normal ways, people will not dare even to meet young people.
Okay.
The youth, because of some mentality concerning the youth, and so I think it is a good way to move the nation forward. Speaking from the sociological point of view.
Okay, Doc's line is not very stable. I don't know what the problem is.
Doc, moving people.
Doc, if you could reposition yourself a bit, I don't know if it's the internet connection or what exactly, but one, your video is not up for us, so we are unable to see you. And two, the sound is also not very stable. There appears to be some sort of interference. So if you could reposition your, or perhaps maybe we should tap you by phone, maybe that could also work. But in the meantime, Comedian Waris is with the group Fix the Country Now. And Waris, maybe I should start by congratulating you. Congratulations to you and your team for such a job well done, because you managed to get government to pay attention to the things you wanted government to pay attention to. So congratulations. But fast forward to
Thank
now.
You very much.
Are you guys satisfied? Are you content with how things have played out so far, with the responses from government, with all the assurances and all the other things government says is doing in order to get things done?
I want to say big thanks to your team and then your listeners. I have something I wanted to talk about even before your question.
Okay.
But then I don't know if I can say.
Start with that, and then you can answer my question.
We are pleading with the media to know that we are the conveners. We are just 20. We are just 20, and we have a PR team. We have people who go out to talk for us. Now, the reason why you've seen that this thing has been successful so far is because we have not added or allowed any political party to involve themselves. And then we have known faces which are coming from political parties. And we are not saying that we don't want anybody to join the campaign. But then we are saying that if you are a known face and you are from NDC or NPP and you know the best thing, you know this is the best thing, please don't go out and then say you are a PR or a PRO for us or anything for people to look like it's a political agenda. You understand? You can involve your energy, but we don't want to destroy this whole thing.
Okay, so essentially what you are saying is that you are focused on the message, on letting the real issues stand out. People should not in any way seek to politicize what is currently happening.
Yeah, because we are all suffering. And whatever our minister said to us yesterday, we've heard him. But from the onset, when we started it was Speak Up Ghana, because we realized that Ghana has to speak up. Then it translated to Fix the Country.
Yeah.
So now, in the beginning, when we started and we were saying Fix the Country, we expected our leaders to come down and then talk to us, because lately social media is very powerful, and we are drawing the attention of all the foreign media houses, which is we want ourselves to be heard. And then if in the beginning it was good dialogue it wouldn't have gotten this far. And we've seen a lot of them come out to say all they are saying. And it's no new thing to us, but we love the democracy. First of all, our minister has not had engagement with us. We've not been able to tell them whatever we are going through, whatever we want them to fix. Because when they met us, they were only talking to us. They were telling us what we are supposed to do and all that.
I see. Interesting. Let me ask this question though. Having listened to a number of things, so from what, for instance, the Vice President of the Republic says in his post, highlighting the several things that have been done, up to yesterday, hearing from Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, would you say you've been fair to government? Because a number of the things we were seeking in all of that, it appeared a significant number of them had been addressed by the government. So would you say that...
It looks, okay. You see, there are so many differences between being addressed and then being done, or making it translate into the lives of people. As I'm talking to you today, there's going to be increase in fuel transport. You understand? If your son is crying that he's dying, would you go ahead to use knife to stab him again? No, you won't. No. You will think about it twice.
Yeah.
You understand? So the leaders are talking. Everything that they are saying, we've heard it over and over again. They only bring it up, they leave it for the media because the media will take it and then blast it and all over. But then you see, we are weak. We are trying to, we are not weak per se, but we are weak with our media stuff. Because when we bring it out, we don't have solid media houses who will say, oh, they want to support this, push it out and all that. So a lot of the masses don't even understand the message. The message is very simple. We know it takes time to fix. And then they have all been in power for long. This is not trial version or any other thing. But we are just telling them that they should fix it because they've been in power for long.
Okay. Maybe the final one to you, though. Are you confident, based on what you have heard so far, are you confident that the concerns articulated as you've embarked on this protest, are you confident that these concerns will be met anytime soon? They'll be dealt with anytime soon?
I am hoping, because if I say I pray, we pray more than any other country in the whole world. So I am hoping that they will listen to us. But if they don't listen to us, buying airtime is free. We can buy airtime. We know how to go about our work. And I'm still saying it on every TV station that the youth is not even angry yet. Because if we are angry, a lot of things would happen. And we want them to talk to us through democracy. We want them to listen and do the Tibinami Kebitin. So if the conveners are there and then they call them to sit down, they let us talk that this is what we are going through. This is where people have passed out with first class and they are not getting work. This is where people have passed out with first class and they have to go knocking on bosses' door for them to be slept with before they get work. But if the country is working and is fixed, people would have allocated places to work without going to knock on anybody's door.
Interesting.
You understand?
Yeah.
And this is it. The government should not in any way feel like they have to counter whatever we are saying. We penny, penny kasano otunofwa. It was so tie ansano oka assembly. You understand? Because somehow there might be certain things that you have to listen. Now, if the country is not fixed, and we are saying fix the country, and you tell us to fix ourselves, it is a blow in our face. Because
but Waris, you know that was not an official communication from government. I do agree that I saw a number of party surrogates post that, but that was not from government.
It's not an official communication from the government, but we have certain government officials that we are looking up to. You understand? Like the boss for oil and gas, for instance. You see, you can't tell us to fix ourselves. In the first place, if the country is fixed, in every country, there are people who are not fixed in their attitude. In every country, there are even worse countries. You understand? China, for instance, they are worse when it comes to attitude. Because China is fixed. But then a Chinese man feels like he has unfixed attitude. But then an unfixed country is the only country that he can come and do galamsey. You understand?
Yeah.
Ghana. So who took one abroche now the ukuta we cry. You say, hey, Masa abroche the okokra magic no. The bet you. We feel like the country is so fixed. So we as unfixed, we can't go there and misbehave.
I see.
So
okay.
I think that agenda of fix yourself should just pack itself. We need the country fixed. It's very simple. We know they are human beings and they can never be perfect as we want. But then if generally we involve people, we engage the people democratically, we let people come through so that we talk, we involve like the masses to know what we can do ahead of time. I think that would solve a lot of issues.
Okay. Waris, thank you. I'm really glad you took time off to join in our conversation today. Comedian Waris, as many of you know him, he's a member of the Fix the Country Now campaign, and he has said quite a lot on whatever it is they've heard from government so far. He says they are hoping that the government puts its money where its mouth is, and that's what it says it's going to do. Dr. Christopher Ampadu is rejoining us this time round via phone. Again, he's a sociologist and a development specialist. Doc, good afternoon again. You were answering a question I had asked about the impact of such a movement on the fortunes of the country, whether or not it's the way to go, and whether or not how the way and manner in which it's been handled perhaps will trigger a response strong enough for us to see some developmental projects.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon.
Right.
I believe that what is happening is something that has been expected over the years. Now, looking at the youth and the population that the youth entails, looking at the number of graduates who always graduate from our university, and the many unemployment situations we have in our hands, you do not expect young people just to sit down and then cross their legs and then just keep looking at what is happening. I'm sure this nation belongs to all of us. And as I heard someone saying, if the government do not act now, this is something that may strike something which is more serious. Because when they are requesting people in government to fix the country, it means that I think a lot of things are going on, as even the vice president indicated. A lot of things government is doing, as even the finance minister have indicated, or the government would do. These are all good. But for some people, especially the young people, they think these are some of the political talk that politicians do give to the mass. They need something practical, something pragmatic, something that the politicians who have the political will to take hold on. Now, as you may have heard, when the president is talking, we have not heard anything about corruption. Now, anytime corruption is mentioned, don't forget, this government came to power because of the noise, I can say, that they made about the corrupt government of the previous government. And I think many people voted for this government because they were hoping that this government will come and then put to jail the many that were deemed to be so corrupt, and then also work against any corrupt practices that is going on. Unfortunately, up to now, the number of people who are perceived, the government took over 6 months to 1 year trying to audit various departments and various governmental agencies. What was the essence of doing that? We have not heard of any report that has come out on the money that was spent in auditing all these governmental agencies and then various departments. Even not to mention that 1 or 2 people are being jailed. Now, young people, have taken note of all of this. And then as a sociologist, you are talking about people living in communities, people living in society, people working together to bring about progress and development. Now we know people before they became politicians. And we know of people who were nobody, nothing. But when they entered into politics, immediately they have turned out to become very rich, prosperous, living, arrogant life, and then life of showcasing, money. Now these are young people, and they look at all of this, and then they come back to say, then you are talking about taking loans. We don't have the money. People who don't have money and are taking loans all over the place would know how to live their lives. A life of humility, a life of sobriety, a life of just doing with the little they have. But what do we see? Look at the cars when they are moving along the road. Look at the motorcade they have, and then the noise they give them away. And now becoming a politician means becoming rich. Now this is what you are showing to your young people. Now we have a problem on our hands.
Interesting.
And so when they say fix the country, it means that they are just saying that, you see, the hospitals have a problem, the road networks have problems, health is a real issue. People are hungry, prices have increased, and poverty is increasing. And yet some people are becoming so rich. The government have talked about corruption, and yet nothing is being done. Corruption is becoming, or is now endemic, and everyone is over there a massive work to himself or herself. Now, they want pragmatic, steps taken to ensure that politicians are serious people who they come to politics or they are voted for to fix problems. And the president has indicated clearly that it's the government to fix it. And yet you are not saying it. You are not experiencing it. Yes, you are doing something. You are not saying that you are not doing much. You are doing your part. But then there is a lot to be done.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, you seek to agree with the protesters in their clarion call for changes, for things to be done and done now. What then do you make of government's efforts or government's attempts at drawing our minds to things that have been done and its plans to fix some of the challenges that have been iterated by this group?
Well, with the government attempt to inform us about what they've done and what they plan doing, it's not anything new. People have heard that over and over again.
Right.
What people need now is
action.
Intentional actions that are being taken.
Okay. Let me get a quick response now from Waris. Waris is on, and I think he wants to make an intervention. Waris, let's hear you, please, rather quickly.
Thank you very much.
Right.
The thing is that the school we attended, these guys, you see, we have a good educational system, but we don't have a good educational structure, let me say, if I have to put it this way. Because a lot of us are learning Grasshopper, and we can't use Grasshopper to go and pay anything. And it's very simple. We don't want our leaders to live on past glories. We are tired. We know all those things. We know Mahama has built whatever, but Nanado has built whatever. But then when they come back and they are trying to give us message, they have to give us things that they feel like this one can be met. This one can be met in 4 years. Imagine you are told that write examination within 20 minutes, and then you go and choose an essay that is more than 30 years essay. How? You see, we need to have the planning for long-term.
But worries, Ghanaians heard all of these things, and Ghanaians knew some of the promises of the president were not necessarily going to be actualized in the first 4 years. But then again, the foundation for the actualization of those promises could be done in those 4 years.
That is why we need to have the long-term programs. We need to have the short-term programs. Now, whatever the government is now saying, because we have come out to, cry, is talking about the things that they have done already. Now, are those things reflecting in the lives of the people? If they are doing that, then why are they complaining?
Okay, so Waris, you cited an example about fuel prices and how they were up and people were suffering. The government heeded the call for a reduction in the prices. The price of fuel have dropped, or albeit marginally, they still have dropped. Is that not what it is you require of government?
They have dropped, but as I'm talking to you right now, within this week, it can happen that they are going to increase transport. Fuel has dropped, but then there is news going around that there is going to be increase in transportation. Now, this is it. It's very simple. When we went on lockdown, a lot of people were laid off work. Because real lockdown, those people have not gotten the chance to go back to work. You understand? And they are now wandering around. Hawkers are increasing in traffics. And then now you come back with all this hardship to increase tax. And then all those people are not working. There are people doing sakawa. There are people doing stealing. There are people raping, doing a lot of stuff. Just tell me, who are these people? It's very, very hard to say all these things. But then you realize that a lot of people cannot cry. Even the people who are saying, okay, Nana has fixed it. Nana has fixed it. Now, let me tell you for a fact, we, the celebrities or the public figures, we have our pages. But then within a day, within a week, we have almost like 10 people, 20 people coming in our DM to beg us for shoe to wear to go to school, for 50 Ghana to buy food and eat. Meanwhile, even our entertainment industry is not picking because cinemas are closed.
Yeah.
You understand? A lot of things. All those who are shouting, and the country is fixed, and I answer you subai. If you are so a snake, any omuni now more honey now. Bet me I can no crana shower. Bet you say for bomb DM be Paul Macho. So mu pesika didi. Why would a Ghanaian, a youth who is hardworking, go to somebody's DM to beg the person for the person to give them food? Now, when I say a youth who is hardworking, these are the youth that they have been deprived from work because they maybe the work is not there, or maybe they don't have the chance, but they are doing Okada work. These are the youth who are opening online stores. These are the youth who are becoming makeup artists. These are the youth who are becoming comedians. I mean, a lot of things is going on in the country where the youth is actually trying to fix themselves by doing something to survive in the country.
Okay. All right. Waris, thank you. Thank you for that. Doc, maybe we can wrap up in the next 2 minutes, please. We've run out of time, but if you could, please help us wrap up in the next 2 minutes or so as you continue with the point you were making earlier.
Thank you so much. I believe that fixing the country is not only the work of the government. Okay. All of us have a role to play. Okay. Now, many of the youth that are calling on government to fix the country, many are also involved in many activities that go to bring the country down. Now, we know of, even, look, now we have sanitation tax. Why should we have sanitation tax if we, the people, have taken to ourselves how to take care of our environment? You see, government can go and come, but if people don't change attitudes and behaviors and conduct, and they think a particular government from the heavens to come down and change or fix the country for us, I think we are just lying to ourselves. Okay. It is time for us, Ghanaians, to rise up and say, fixing the country is not only the work of the government, it's work for us all. Even though government is taking leadership, every one of us, even from the market, I mean, please, right down to our offices, to our homes, our environment, everywhere we find ourselves, if we are fixing the very small problems we have in our community, I think it will go a long way to fix the nation. Okay. We can blame our leaders, but you see, if you blame leaders, remove these leaders, bring another type of leaders, and they will do the same thing. So it is not, for me, just leadership that needs to be blamed.
All right.
All of us, as the people, have work to do, taking our destiny into our own hands, loving our nations, and then working with the little we have. The youth, being creative, not just going to university and graduating and waiting for government for jobs. It needs no government globally can give jobs to all the youth who are graduating from the university. So it is time for us to be more creative. It is time for us to think about what can we do, what we have in our hands to do something for ourselves. And as we do that, we start to create some independence rather than just waiting on government to get a job, government to do that. Fixing of roads, for example. Look at the type of buildings we have in the various communities. And look at the roads. So bad. The people can contribute some small money to fix the road themselves.
Okay.
Would they do it?
All
No.
right.
They are waiting for government.
Okay.
Government don't have budget for all the roads.
That's
what
fine.
can we do? All of us have responsibility.
All right. Thank you.
If we do our small part, I think with the government also doing her part, this nation will fix.
Thank you, Doc. Dr. Christopher Mpedu is a sociologist and development specialist. You just heard him there articulate those views on how perhaps we can, together as a people, fix the country. And he says it involves you and I fixing ourselves as well. He says something interesting about the roads. It's interesting because yesterday a similar question was posed to the finance minister, and he says we would require something in the region of about $10 billion US if we are to fix all the roads in the country. $10 billion. Anyway, thank you for that. Comedian Waris is also a member of the Fix the Country campaign. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in our conversation today. Today they helped us appreciate what's next for that very protest. Comedian Waris tells us that indeed they are going to hope that the government does what it says it's going to do. But they are not going to sit idle. They are still going to monitor keenly and continue with the pressure on social media. So that is some good news on that front. But I have even better news for you today because I know a lot of you managed to celebrate your mothers on Sunday, right? Some of you couldn't, perhaps because of some of the things Waris mentions. Kromaeshi. And so for whichever reason you could not do what it is you really wanted to do for your mother or any mother figure in your life or someone you really love to honor on such a day, Mother's Day. If you watched MX24, we came to you with a fantastic production which featured quite a number of mothers, including wife of Stonebwoy. They said some amazing things, right? But now I have something else for you because I promised at the beginning of the show that today there's something great going to happen on the show. There's a certain gentleman sitting next to me. And anytime I see him, I'm happy because he carries a lot of money. Today he says he's going to dash some money on the show. I don't know how he's going to do it or why he's going to do it. But after this break, he'll give us the details. Stay with us right here on Opposing Views.
What questions are on your mind? Does partisanship permeate every aspect of Ghanaian life? Can Africans truly run their own affairs without a need for foreign aid? Do you have absolute confidence in the ability of security agencies to come to your aid when you need it? Do the emergency lines in this country even work? For answers to these and more, join me, Noang Falong, on MX24.
It's always about humility. She's like, saying sorry will never take anything away from you. So, like, whatever the situation is, just be comfortable enough to say sorry. I just grew up to understand that she just didn't want me to burn bridges because it's something that she don't do. But I've also learned that you trying not to burn bridges shouldn't also allow you to make people disrespect you as well. So, yes, say sorry. if you must, like, be comfortable enough to say sorry, but just let people treat you right. You know, just don't allow people to disrespect you just because you don't want to bend bridges. Stand your ground.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Louisa, what would your mama say?
My mom would always say, in everything you do, make sure you do it well. No matter how small or how big, just do it the best way you can, because do it for yourself, but also you never know who's watching. So she brought us up that way. In everything that you do it thinking that she's probably watching you, so you do it the best way that you can, and that stuck with me till today.
Nana Nekia, you said your mom would say a lot of things.
I like to say one.
What would your mama say?
My mother would say, Auntie Adobia, Suban Wowe, eti se nyinsem, wuntimi fancy, enti wa ho fe de wobeko, na wo suban ebesan ede waba. So I mean, I've lived to know that I should be humble in everything that I do, and it's always good to live for today. It's always good not to look at the outer appearance. It's always good to respect everybody accordingly. It's always good wherever you go, stay humble, as you said, because like my mom said, your beauty will take you wherever you go, but the moment you speak, then it tells how you were brought up or who you are. So that's what my mother would say. Yeah.
And mom, lastly, what would your mama say?
So many things, but what stuck with me is don't marry a man because he's rich. Marry an intelligent man, because eventually you don't want to have children who are intelligent, and then with their intelligence they can make the money.
I see. Perhaps my advice would be, don't marry a broke man. But don't worry, you can choose to marry a broke man, because right here at MX24, we are happy to make you a rich man. Yeah, it's rather simple. And we have the man who has the magic wand to make it happen. Like I mentioned, I don't know how he's going to do it, or I don't know, really. But he appears to have a plan, and so he's ready to share that plan with us. And so, Mawina, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It's rather unusual to see you here. Usually you are all up and about making money and, you know, doing all the things you do. But let's start by, okay, of course, I think it's not out of place for me to wish you a belated Happy Mother's Day, right?
Oh, it's not. It's not. I'll convey it to my mother.
I see. So, Mawina, what is it that you say you have for us? How are viewers of MX24 TV likely to tap into the several hundreds of Ghana cedis you are willing to share right now? How is that possible?
Thousands of Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Point of correction. So
thousands, not even hundreds.
No.
Oh, okay.
100, yeah.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is usually Mother's Day is just a celebration on one day.
Yeah.
But here at MX24, we are going to extend the celebration for mothers, and not just mothers, but mother figures.
Okay.
So we are doing that the entire month of May.
Oh, a whole month?
A whole month.
So a mother's month?
A mother's month.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
But the catch here is that, you know, in Ghana, we have a certain term that we ascribe to mothers, or females that embody the mother.
Mommy or something.
Thank you.
Okay. Mommy.
Yo, so the entire month we are going to celebrate these mother figures, or these mommies, and we're going to do it in a special way with a special.
I'm interested in that. I have a plain sheet here. Let me note all the steps.
Please, we are going to note it. So it's a Yajiska.
Yajiska.
You know that's all. Yeah. So for the entire month of May, in partnership with CBG Bank.
Oh, Consolidated Bank Ghana.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We are going to be honoring our mommies.
Fantastic.
Yes, and how we are going to be doing it is that we are running a campaign,
right?
Where at the end of the month we are going to reward 10 mothers in total with cash prizes that CBG is going to offer them.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Yes.
Really, I haven't heard or seen any platform celebrate mothers beyond that very Sunday,
right?
The first Sunday in the month of May.
Right.
And so this really is some good news. And so we are saying that it's not just for mothers.
No. Not just limited to mothers in terms of biological.
Okay.
Yes.
So mother figures as well.
Figures,
so
yes.
anybody who plays a mother figure role in your life or in the lives of several others, you can go ahead and nominate the person.
Right. Anybody you can call mommy.
Mommy, anyone.
You know what the mommy
even
does?
Agbamame. People who have been giving us beans and all of that. Gobe.
Or even our nursery teachers. And me, I remember Miss Forsen, Charlie brought me up to become the man I am right now. You know, all those mommy figures, yes. Let's celebrate them.
So the thing is, we do and give mommies
one time.
Okay. Show us the way.
Okay, so it's very simple. So this is for our viewers. Okay. So step one is you need to just walk into any CBG bank and you just need to open an account for that mommy figure.
Okay.
So you are inputting it in her details or her information. So you walk into the bank, you just open an account for that mommy figure. Now, once you do that, you need to link that account to CBG's mobile banking, which also is a USSD banking platform, via the short code *924#. So you link the account you've created for your mom or the mother figure, your mommy, to the *924# USSD stroke mobile banking platform of CBG Bank.
Okay.
Then you come and tell us on our social media handles. At MX24GH right. And at CBG Bank Limited. So on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you just tell us what makes this mother figure or this mommy figure special and why we should honor her with the cash prize at the end of the campaign, right? Just those 3 steps. At the end of the campaign, we'll determine who the best mommy figures are based on the inputs that our viewers send to us, and they win the cash prize. It's as simple as that.
Okay. So sorry I'm writing so much, but you have no idea. Don't joke with money, please. I have written a lot of things here.
Right.
So if I get you correctly,
yes,
this is the step.
This is the step.
Rather simple. 1, walk into any CBG branch.
Yes.
Any branch.
Any branch.
So it's not specific to particular branches.
No.
So I should just walk into any branch.
Walk into any
I've
branch.
seen one here.
Right
so
here,
I think I can do that. Okay, so I walk in there and then I say I want to open an account for mommy.
Yes.
That's all.
That's all.
Okay.
Now, once you open the account, you need to maintain the account. It's just a minimum deposit of 100.
That one is nothing. That is no problem. So we should just go there, walk into the bank, open the account, say we want to open the thing for mommy.
For mommy.
Then 3, we link it to the USSD.
Yes.
As for the numbers there, Medini Baba 924.
924. 924.
If you forget it, remember Nana 24. His was 924, but this is 924. So it's *924#.
Yes.
*924#.
Yes.
You link it
to
that very account.
Yes.
And then when you're done, you say what? Go and write something on social media.
On social media.
At MX24GH and at CBG Bank.
Bank Limited.
CBG Bank Limited.
Bank Limited, yes.
And then you tell us what makes that mommy figure so special. And then you win money.
That's it.
Mawena. So you knew all of this and you didn't come to us early enough. You did.
Oh, you see, this usually we like to do the Mother's Day. Okay. So we have to now tell people that it's not just Mother's Day.
Okay.
It's the entire
month. Mother's Month. So in the month of May, MX24, together with Consolidated Bank Ghana, we are celebrating Mother's Month.
Yes.
So mommies all over the world, every single place in this world, we are celebrating them.
We are celebrating
and again, if you have a pen and paper and perhaps you may forget this, so please take note. I have written this. I'm going to keep this because you don't joke with small money. Please. This one is big money, so don't joke with it. So 1, you walk into any CBG bank branch. 2, you open an account for that mommy figure. 3, you link that account to that USSD code, which is *924#.
Yes.
And then you go onto social media and just tag at MX24GH and at CBG Bank Limited. Share with us what you think, in your own view, makes that mommy figure so special. So special. For some, it's the cooking. For some, it's the advice. For some, it's the spanking. For some, it's just, it could be anything, right? And then once you do that, at the end of this very process, if you are very fortunate, 10 of such persons, such mommy figures, indeed they are going to be honored. And so for me, it's a fantastic thing. I love that. Can you have multiple entries for multiple mummies? So can I open several accounts for several mummies?
You like this? Me, I know you have plenty mummies in your life.
I have so many mummy figures in my life.
Let's say 10, 15.
Yeah.
Let's honor them.
Okay.
Let's honor all the mummies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it for them.
All right.
Yes.
So is there a timeline by which time will this thing be done?
So we have now opened the entries in terms of putting the information out there.
Okay.
Every week, beginning this week.
All right.
For the rest of the month, we are going to reward 5 people each week.
Wow.
So yes, it's officially out there.
So it's out. So now we can start.
We started.
So right from the office, I can drive to a CBG
and
bank
then
branch
open for all the 10.
All the
mummies.
10.
Who knows? Maybe you might. Depends on you. Are a good story teller, so you might win for all of them.
I see. Okay, Mawena, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Mawena has just brought us the way to making it in life. If you are still broke at this point, please, I don't see why you should be. He has showed you the way. This is the pathway to freedom. Please, a quick run through. Walk into any CBG bank branch, open an account with that mummy figure in mind, link that account to the USSD, *924# is the code, and then you tweet at MX24GH and at CBG Bank Limited, sharing what it is that makes that mummy figure so special. And then at the end of the period, some selected mummy figures are going to be honored. They are going to receive several thousands of Ghana cedis by kind courtesy Consolidated Bank Ghana and MX24GH. If you want further information, do well to visit our social media handles at MX24GH and also at CBG Bank Limited. Okay, fantastic. Now I can rest because this is amazing. Mawena, thank you once again. That was Mawena Anku Kwaku. He's a sales and marketing team member for MX24. My name is Kwabena Chencheni Boateng, and I'm glad that you took time off to watch Opposing Views today as well. I'll see you on Wednesday. But please, if I were you, I'll be ordering an Uber or a Bolt heading to the nearest CBG bank.